Greetings everyone, I am Nirvana Sparkle. If you missed my 13 or so picks for Monday Night Raw, there will be a link to that video in the description below so that you can enjoy that first half of this top 26 list. Now, as I promised, here are the 13 picks that I would make if I'm the general manager of SmackDown. So, what's SmackDown's overall theme? If Raw was about, veteran experience that can go for many hours and being the flagship show of the WWE, then what's SmackDown? Well, it's about youth and hunger. I like to call this theming the shark pull method. You see, I want to create a hunger, a vitriol, a constant pecking order in the WWE to create sharks out of guppies, to develop young talent into monsters. To do this, I'm using a combination of the NXT brand and the SmackDown brand to create the Shark Pull method. And these are the top 13 superstars that I would draft to utilize this. Now keep in mind, Undertaker is exempt from the draft in this case, and as always, tag teams will be drafted as a group. Women will not be drafted because the title will float. And seeing that the Miz is over on Raw, we have Rusev over on SmackDown to represent the United States Championship. Now, as for the big title, I would not bring back the World Heavyweight Championship. No, I would create a brand new championship known as the WWE Universe Championship. The reason being is because of all the exuberant youth that is on this brand. I want a title with absolutely no history, no connection whatsoever, so that the first champ can establish their own legacies, and the belt of SmackDown to feel richly tied to itself, without having to worry about the legends that have come before it, or being greater than the WWE Championship. It's its own thing. As for the tag team titles, they would float like the Women's Championship. Now, for the first pick in the SmackDown draft is my favorite wrestler in the WWE right now in terms of the youth movement. If you've watched my podcast appearances on New Gaming Order, you already know who I'm talking about. The former Intercontinental Champion and former NXT Champion, my first pick for SmackDown, Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens brings a brash, in-your-face, no-nonsense attitude to the proceedings, which will give SmackDown life and identity, seeing that he won't be the only one that will follow this trend of young and hungry, but he's the ultimate example of young and hungry. In my mind, he's the uncrowned world champion at this point. Being denied Money in the Bank a month ago, thanks to Ambrose, he won't be denied now. As a certified showman and great in-ring technician, Ambrose is who you want leading your brand into the future. But if you're also looking for youth and exuberance as well to go alongside Owens, you go for pick number 2. Now, in the case of pick number 2, you go with somebody with a veteran tinge, but way too much youth and potential not to be wasted here. AJ Styles becomes pick number 2. Do I even have to explain AJ Styles? Well, to the modern WWE fan, they're already seeing his high-flying techniques, maneuvers, and true in-ring acumen. He's like Daniel Bryan if he flew even more and had even more of a charisma and panache. He's just now getting his feet under wet in the WWE, which is a great thing. Plus, if you don't want Kevin Owens as your champion right offhand, AJ Styles would be the perfect number 2 to fit right in there with the rest of the group. He might be a little bit on the older side, but trust me, his potential, upside, and just natural skill are too much to pass up here. Next up at 3, I'd bring the NXT pool into the equation, with Samoa Joe and Finn Balor making up the Raw listings, as well as Shinsuke Nakamura and Apollo Crews, the 3 main NXTers that are bringing attention at pretty much their homes. But in terms of NXT, there's also a ton of talent waiting for the call-up as well. And these two, a tag team, most certainly deserve the call. Jason Jordan and Chad Gable, the team known as American Alpha, former NXT Tag Team Champions, come together as a team. With comparisons to the world's greatest tag team in my mind, these guys are just the right amount of excitement and pop to bring SmackDown's new high energy, high attitude to a more technical and refined level. And they won't be the only tag team from NXT being drafted in these 13 as well. But they're most certainly deserving of the first. Fourth up, if you were to ask me who on the main WWE roster right now has the most potential but isn't getting the most fair shake, that is not a guy like Bray Wyatt, there's another guy that most fans would give you the heads up is. And he's number 4 on this list, Cesaro. He would quickly replace Rusev as my US champion. And he's got also the panache and the ability to sell you anything. Heck, he even sells an airplane spin, a classic move from the 1940s with excitement and panache. He's one of the best in-ring technicians and probably has one of the best European uppercuts I've ever seen. And he's worthy of the 4 slot. 5, well, unfortunately, he's got to go somewhere. Now, if it were me, he'd be on a Greyhound bus to the unemployment line. But seeing that he's got to be used somewhere, Roman Reigns goes in at 5 with a drastic character reimagining. Even taking some jobber status for a time. And yes, that fainted heel turn must be done in order to keep Reigns' stock up in my SmackDown organization. And separating him from Ambrose and Rollins who are on Raw. Ambrose because of the championship, and Rollins because I drafted him, will also give Roman Reigns a chance to spread his Shield wings, even giving him a new theme song and a new look to finally make the transformation complete. Roman Reigns needs a new, fresh start, especially after his recent troubles with the drug policy. And there's no better place or reason than the draft. So put him in at 5 for the SmackDown brand. 6 belongs strangely to Zack Ryder, the ultimate full of heart mid-carder. This guy deserves a big stage to be on, finally, and given all its years and respect, a chance to really flourish and really be liked. The former Intercontinental and U.S. champion, and oddly, former tag team champion as well, that's often forgotten about, deserves a chance to be on a main platform where he can be appreciated. Similarly to the number 7 pick, Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze has been knocked around by Vince McMahon ever since his call up to NXT from NXT. And it's pretty darn saddening because he was pretty darn good in NXT. Now that is a youth exuberant roster, maybe now he'll have a chance to thrive, but he'll also be in there with some other well-talented sharks in the pool, which will force him to get better and get better fast. 8 belongs to another tag team from NXT. The current NXT tag team champions, in fact, the Revival. Dash and Dawson have been destroying teams on NXT with their fresh, no nonsense, no theatrics, just fist attitude. Will also reinforce my pick of Kevin Owens to bring attitude to SmackDown. And plus, with their rivalry with American Alpha breeding right off of NXT, you'll have your first major tag team rivalry almost seemingly right away. That's why you pick them at 8. Now, the final 5 picks, get a little fun and get a little tricky too. There's a lot of talent in the WWE, and not all are worthy, unfortunately, of being drafted. I mean, facts to be facts. So when you get to pick 9 and you take the women out of the equation, who do you draft here? I mean, there's plenty in the NXT locker room, but there's plenty in the main locker room too. So, therefore, who's really the pick here? At 9, to keep things young, hyper, and exuberant, I would want Adrian Neville. Yep, that Adrian Neville. He's coming back off an injury, and the man that gravity forgot. Also, much in the way of Roman Reigns, need a fresh start and a reset. And he's just exciting to watch. Why wouldn't you want that? Just saying. He might be a fragile little wallflower, But that fragile little wallflower can be really, really exciting. And that's what SmackDown needs. Excitement. Attitude. And there's none better than Adrian Neville to do this. Number 10, however, goes back to the NXT pool to make it happen. Which means the only other major star that I haven't drafted from NXT currently is Austin Aries. But sadly, he's not the pick here. He's still massively too young to be picked. Instead, I would pick the other veteran talent from NXT. Hideo Itami. Yeah, he's been gone with a big leg injury, but hooking him back up with Kevin Owens will give you the old revenge pot from NXT. And his high-flying yet technical skills is a nice counterback to Shinsuke Nakamura. It's like having one for each brand. So, why not him at the 10 spot? 11 is Kevin Owens' number one rival. And yes, he's that good to get drafted. Sami Zayn. And yes, the fight forever would continue even after Battleground and after the draft. These two were tag team partners together, enemies together. They've just been together. So, why ruin a good thing? Plus, Sami Zayn would be a great mid-card champion to work alongside too. It'd just be fun. 12, Titus O'Neil. Titus O'Neil has had a career resurrection in recent times, getting 2 shots at the U.S. title. The former tag team champion, is finally showing his solo ability. Definitely. So, we've made it to the final pick. The 26th pick in the WWE draft. I've chosen youth and exuberance for the SmackDown brand, and that doesn't change here. To continue with that, my last pick is a tag team. The Lucha Dragons. I could not see the Lucha Dragons being separated from the draft, and unfortunately, that's not the case here either. I just can't see neither one of them being really good at solo careers. Yes, I know, Kalisto is a 2-time U.S. champ, but sadly, he just isn't good enough without his partner. And plus, it'd be another young NXT veteran tag team to go with the other NXT talents. Now, as for who would be my world champion, well, shoot, have a fatal 4-way with the top 4. I would have Kevin Owens become the champion here. He's my stalwart and my representative for the SmackDown brand. Him, Ambrose, and Cena would be my big 3 in the WWE future. Now, here are five additional picks that are off the list as well. The best of the rest, if you watched Top 5 Reasons You Can't Blame. Darren Young, SmackDown brand. Possible resurrection of the primetime players. Austin Aries, Raw brand. He would fit alongside Shinsuke Nakamura and John Cena as another great technical talent. Now here's a big shocker for you. Carlito, SmackDown brand. Hooking him back up with maybe the returning Shining Stars would create another international trio team, which is always good. Also, for Raw, for the Raw brand, Baron Corbin. He's working great over there. So, why stop him? And last but not least, the final of the best of the rest. The Dudley Boys. SmackDown, and please give them those tag team championships. Using the 2 draft list, I've given you 26 picks to work with, and a few others to float around. So what are your picks for the SmackDown brand, and how do you see it playing out? And how do you think my overall draft went? Leave it in the comments section below. And until next time, find peace in your own nirvana. And thanks for watching this rather fun Top 26 list.